Hi folks, we're back. Thanks for watching that break. So right now we had plans to cast Silky versus Zest, but Zest doesn't appear to be here. Now unfortunately I don't have him on my friends list, so I don't know if he went offline or if he's just AFK. Maybe he's practicing, or I don't know. Point is, I did poke him on Skype, and hopefully we'll get an answer sooner than later. If not, we'll just go and catch another round. There's actually quite a few matchups that are still not ready to play out either. So, for example, Gumiho possibly versus Alive, Ryung versus either Major or otherwise. So we have backups and plan Bs. But I would definitely like to try and catch Zest if available. Although how crazy would that be if like Silky knocked out Zest, Nice knocks out Beyond. Suddenly you got Nice and Silky like in round 3. Like what? What?
That would be extremely surprising. For those that don't know, Silky on flip side is the top that we're looking at, is the American Silky. And then on the bottom, X Team Silky is the Chinese Silky. So do that with that information, do what you will, I guess. The other foreigners, I suppose, are still on the bracket too. We have Major, who could face Ryung, and Kelzer could face the winner of Silky versus Keen. I'd be more interested in casting that Silky game, or Keen game, I guess, for TvZ. But obviously Zest is a nice grab.
Yeah, well, at the moment, it looks like we may be swapping series anyways. He's not responding, so hopefully it won't be too long. I will note something, though, guys. Zomgrab and I are going to do kind of like a, what do you call it, like a status check, probably around the round of 8, and decide what's going on over there. Normally, like 9 times out of 10, we cast both semifinals and the finals. But on account of the fact that we both didn't get much sleep today, we might just cut out one of the semifinals matches and let the other one play at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Because right now I feel fine, man. I got that energy that only comes from not having slept and then drinking a cup of coffee. But then I'm just gonna go crash.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It depends how long it takes us to get there, and if there's more holdups like this. Because downtime, funny enough, you think talking and working would be what drains you. It's downtime that really kills you here.
Yeah, it's not doing anything. Oh, nothing's being updated. Oh god.
Well, it's like it's not being updated. It's just no one's finishing their games right now, so we can't see who's available.
Well, is Sue Hush updated Rifkin? I wasn't wrong. I wasn't 100% right either.
Sometimes I wish you could see my webcam. It's the faces I'm making at you. I'm not sure what's going on. Speaking of the webcam, your camera keeps doing this like the ring shit. I'm gonna restart the call real quick. This is really annoying. Like it's the camera's like glitching out for like a second, you know? Like it just like sort of thing.
I see. Okay.
I'm just gonna call her back and see if that fixes it. I don't know if it will. Boop 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 boop. Hello.
Oh, it's not even gonna work. Choose a camera you want to use. That's correct. I want to use that camera. You use that camera, Skype?
This dude sounds a lot like that H1Z1 Pro that duos with Nathanius. I know, dude. I've been working on that impression, right? Why sound just like that guy?
Oh my god. I don't want to crawl underneath and unplug me. Plug that thing in. God.
So it looks like it wasn't my problem or my fault?
No. So Skype just asked me and showed me that my webcam works. It just won't give me the option on the Skype call. Try.
Bonjour.
It's so much easier than plugging it back in.
Yeah, whatever works. Well, anyways, it's looking like Zest might not actually be here, guys, and I don't want to be waiting around too long.
Well, major loss to BreaKIngGG. So much for the foreigner.
Well, I guess we could grab BreaKIngGG versus Ryung, since that's possibly going to be starting right now.
Okay.
I mean, it's either that or waiting for Kelzer's game. I mean, they're both just going to be TVTs, so I've got no preference. I'll leave you to sort that out and host it and all that goodness, I guess. We're going to just, we're not going to walk over Zest right now, guys, so we are just going to go find another match.
I finally caught it. it was quicker this time. It was like StarCraft 2 knew it was being watched, but I finally caught it on camera.
Oh, you local recording like this whole time just to get like a one thing?
Yeah, I like pop it up before I make a map of the Abyssal Reef to see if I can catch it.
Nice. All right. Well, while that gets up, one of our folks here at BaseTradeTV, Joey, aka Nice Username, has made a tweet that is actually, whoops, kind of, I guess, relevant. If you guys don't know, oh, why is the password for Twitter not working? What? I changed it today. I know that that's working. Okay, there we go. God, that's pissing me off. Anyways, for those who don't know, Nice __ username, aka Joey, has been managing our YouTube for a while. A lot of the VODs you see and stuff you have up there is all thanks to him. So he put out a tweet and it says, "I've been managing BaseTradeTV's YouTube account for 1 year. Now time flies. Let me know if you have any suggestions or complaints, etc. Thank you." Now, what you guys should definitely do with this is tell Joey to, because I've been telling him to do this for a while. Tell Joey to make a fucking video of himself and introduce himself to our goddamn YouTube audience so people know who he is. I told him he doesn't even have to do like a face cam thing or nothing if he doesn't want to. Just put gameplay footage and have him talk over it. I mean, the guy does stream from time to time. But that's Rifkin's personal suggestion.
What? I was gonna make a GIF out of this. Oh, Gimme Over's Alive isn't available. Well.
No, that's fine. We'll just stick with this one. I think it's good to get to see some Ryung. I do like Ryung.
Okay. Already? Let's do this.
Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, let's hop into the game. Fresh best of 3. We're actually in round 3 now. And it's going to be kicking off here on Belshire Vestige, not Abyssal Reef.
Correct. But I swear it showed up that way.
I really want to see this GIF when you figure it out, man. Or just upload it to YouTube. Have like unlisted as like a 1 second clip or something.
Oh yeah, well, if this doesn't work, then maybe I will.
Alright, well, as we get into the game, I do want to remind you guys that this is still, round 3. So we got the round of 8 after this, 2 semifinals, finals, all that jazz. We'll see how the time goes. We'll see how things go. In the bottom right, kicking it off in this best of 3 for the BTSL, it's Ryung.
In the top left is the Teal Zerg. He is BreaKIngGG.
This is a Chinese player, for those who are a little unfamiliar with him. He's pretty good. He's actually knocked some people out of tournaments and qualifiers before that we really didn't expect. But that being said, we still haven't seen him really push past like round of 8 type matches. He's not quite winning the finals of any of our tournaments. Like, he is objectively speaking a good player and someone you don't want to bump into in the brackets, but we haven't seen him take it to that next level just yet.
Yep.
And rest in Pepperoni Zest. I think he's actually been walked over as we speak, so it feels bad. But I guess probably got busy or fell asleep. It is kind of late in Korea, I guess, for those who don't know. 3 a.m. here on the West Coast is about 8 p.m. in Korea. So not like, it's not like super late, but you know, considering right now my sleep schedule's all over the place. I don't know what his is. I'm not gonna assume his sleep schedule.
That's good of you. Don't assume. I made it. It's happening. I'm gonna prove to the world, but this isn't even like that convincing because it's so quick and it's usually not this quick.
You gotta slow it down. You gotta stretch it out, slow it down 2 frames per second. You know, like.
Jeez. I press the button. I don't know what to do.
Okay, well, while Zombie Girl breaks that stuff, talking a little bit about Ryung. I've loved watching, or I've loved that we've gotten to watch Ryung over the last year, especially. I mean, playing in the Alima League and here and there for other events, but just most importantly, he's really improved at the game. And while I just say like BreaKIngGG, he's kind of like where Ryung was a year ago. I'm even gonna say like Ryung would get to the top 8 of tournaments and not really much further than that. But Ryung has actually been in the finals of the Alima League a little bit more recently, usually hitting semifinals blocks. It's just good to see how far he's come, because this is a guy who I think there was that concern, like, is he done with StarCraft? Is there best days behind him type thing? But Legacy of the Void really revitalized Ryung.
He did pretty well in the beginning, and he had some good TVPs too. But it really hasn't led to a super successful, GSL semifinalist type deal. But I do think he's still as solid as he was. I just think that a lot of other people got even better too. So I would think that he wins versus BreaKIngGG, but I honestly don't know enough about the guy. I haven't cast him enough, despite seeing him in the bracket.
I just thought of another YouTube edition show you could do. We don't have enough boobs in our thumbnails, and I think that's why our view count is so low. So high morals are actually just killing our StarCraft YouTube channel, and I think we need more cleavage shots.
Yeah, okay, buddy. Alright.
You think you could hook us up with that? Just
No, I don't.
get a couple of look-at shots. We don't have to show your face, okay? No one cares about the face.
Wow. Excuse you.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You gotta. Let's move on for this before I get in trouble, shall we? We got a Roach War coming up out of BreaKIngGG. Third base on the way. But for Ryung, I find it a little bit interesting, as he doesn't exactly have a third CC coming out, nor does he really have an armory on the way. So I'm wondering how he plans to use his Hellions. It's Banshee follow-up. Okay, so see that instead of a Raven out of the starport.
He might just be going old school, you know? Like, you don't really need an armory, but that does make the Hellions usually a little more effective than just Hellions.
Yeah, I mean, Hellions, they've certainly got their merit. We've seen, like even Nathanius, right? Nathanius versus Volts, god damn. This game actually is getting some nice drone kills too, though. Not going to end the game with 7, but still some pretty good damage with the initial Hellions. He takes it up to 9, not bad. 10 even, whoa! Things are getting hot.
Bad at all. That's the good reason to still keep them in Hellion form, is that they are going to be better at trying to dive in and take out drones than Hellbats ever could be, but...
Well, the drawback to this, though, is with no Hellbats, he didn't have a chance to really fight the Queens. Not taking that Queen countdown means those Banshees are going to have to fight against them. And that might not be so fun, but Viking cleans up a couple of Overlords, takes away Scouting. I believe that Banshee got spotted by the Lings. It certainly does now if it didn't before.
Oh. The spore colors are on the way. He did go for a Roach Warren and is only just starting to make Roaches. We'll see if he commits to Roaches, but that was just, you know, just in case he went for an Armory. But a second Starport is not really what I expected out of Ryung. Maybe Major. And Banshee Speed.
Yeah,
okay,
boy! Hyperflight Rotors! Talk more on that in a bit, I guess, if it gets to complete this game. Sometimes the game will fall apart before that gets a chance to finish up, but dives into the mineral line once again, and Ryung will find a couple of drone kills waiting for him.
Shoot up.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
And that would perform adequate anti-air to take down a Banshee.
Yeah, it would.
Anyways, 11 workers killed, but a grand total of 21. Ryung has certainly done some pretty nice damage. Another starport comes up, though, in Zombie Group. Oh, Ryung is winning my heart so bad right now. 3-port Banshee. Are we watching Ryung or Lily Kaneen? Like, what is happening right now?
I don't know, man. Like, Ryung does not usually do wonky stuff. I mean, the wonkiest I've ever seen him do is, like, you know, like a unit
mech.
pops out of one building that is kind of a surprise, like a Raven instead of a Banshee, or a Widowmine instead of Helen or something, right? Like, that's as whack as it gets, I feel, for Ryung. And to actually go for Sky Terran is a complete surprise.
So, my bad. I thought it was a tech lab coming down to reactor. But still, like, 3 starport, maybe not Banshee, but 3-port blank, period, the end is already a weird story to be telling. Terran Air is not exactly super crazy good. Liberators, yeah, you balance mind about them all day, but they've got their weaknesses too, especially against Zerg. Liberators, very easily abducted and whatnot. I'm kind of hoping, like, I'm hoping upon hopes that that fusion core wasn't just for Liberator range. Maybe battle cruisers, but he is intentionally producing Liberators right now.
Yeah, there's some people Liberators for now. We'll see about the battle cruisers. And important to note that BreaKIngGG is only just going to scout this. It should survive long enough to see this starports. Just barely, but it's important. Like, until now, he had no idea there's multiple starports.
So weird, so strange. And of course, I think you're really left with 2 options. One of the easier ones is to go for the Spire. Whatever's coming out of that starport, chances are Corruptors are going to take care of it. But for Ryung, the real threat here isn't necessarily these Banshees and Liberators, and don't get me wrong, those are a threat in and of themselves, but it is these Hellions. Like, the Banshees are super fast. Oh my god, the Hyperflight Rotors, right? They're super fast. They get around the map. They can even kill a Spore Crawler when you got like 5 of them like this. But if the Hellions run into your mineral line while all the Queens are chasing over here to the right, you're going to lose that mineral line. There's no question about it.
Yeah. And if you do that, that is totally on you. BreaKIngGG does have some roaches, and they should be in position to stop Hellions from running through, because that's like really what they're going to be adding on. The gas going to go into the starports, so when reactive factory makes run by units.
This Viking has killed 5 overlords, by the way. Very nicely done.
BreaKIngGG just did not have a good enough mental head start, or just even physical head start, because the Hellions roasted his drones, that he really is falling behind tech-wise against this build, as well as just 3 bases is not exactly too convincing. And Ryung's going down to his 4th base on 70 SCVs.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
Whether he kills 20 more drones or not, I feel like his army's just gonna be too good. But it's always fun to see drones roasted.
Unit's coming out now. Let's talk about the dynamic of this, because Ryung's actually not got a lot of cloak. And Hyperflight Rotors, as fast as it is, it still doesn't outfly Mutalisks. What it does do is outfly the Overseer that usually chases to give you the detection. So the fact that Ryung has these speed Banshees, that's cool, but they're going to die to these Mutas. There's not enough energy left to cloak and run away. I think he's realized this too, so he's just going out with a bang. 31 drones killed between the 2 bases, not too bad.
Well, Ryung is now going to additional command centers. He has enough Liberators to deal with the Mutas fine. They're not as good as they were back in the day, but 4 Liberators and a clumped up Mutalisk, it still kills a Mutalisk. That hasn't changed so much there.
Well,
so
he's got air weapons too, which is not so conventionally seen.
that's true too. The Mutas, ideally they get something. They at least are keeping tabs and maybe delaying extra bases. Maybe Ryung doesn't get 5 extra bases just willy-nilly, but I'm not doing too good of a job of that yet.
Was the text on this GIF at all necessary?
I don't know.
The big blocky look, Abyssal Reef.
Because people are gonna be like, I don't know, like where's it happen? It's right there.
Okay, we'll talk about that after, because I have questions about it still, but at least I see what you're talking about now.
It wasn't. I swear you were like overcomplicating things.
GG. Yeah, that game was gonna be messy for a long time, and I think BreaKIngGG just decided to cut his losses. So, hype to Ryung, playing a bit of different style, playing a bit of a weirder game, but he takes map number 1. Anyways, okay, so here's my question about this GIF. Now that I'm looking at this, right? I guess I'll put this on. I won't put this on stream. Whatever, it's extra work. So I'm seeing you click Belshir. It says Belshir at the top. How does that make Abyssal when it mismakes it? Because I'm not following that. Like, all of this you've shown in the GIF is what I expected to see, but I don't understand how this goes to actually make Abyssal Reef. Because
we see how it's Abyssal Reef first before it changes to Belshir.
Right, but it still says Belshir though afterwards. Is my point, right?
So I think what happens, like, I don't fucking know. I'm not in the code, man. I'm not hacking in. But like, what I think happens is that it like registers it as Abyssal Reef first, and a couple of times it'll glitch out and just keep reading it as Abyssal Reef.
Is it just that you're clicking too quick? Like let's assume that there's more of a delay there, right? Like, let's say that's 5 seconds, not like a millisecond before it swaps over. Is it that you're just clicking too quick on the create game, so like it assumes it's Abyssal Reef, I guess, from there?
It could be. I mean, that's what I've said before when I tried to rationalize it, but I have no idea.
Yeah, okay, I can see how that makes sense then. Well, I mean, it doesn't make sense, but I can see how it makes sense, if that makes sense. I'm just gonna stop talking. Because before, like, I couldn't even figure out, like, I'm looking at, I don't get that little millisecond of a delay. It's just instant on my screen, so it's just like, for me, I'm like, she's taking crazy pills. I don't know what she's describing.
As I said, I was trying to do it yesterday and it never did it. I just tried to do it now, see if I can get a longer one, and it didn't do it. So it probably happens to you once every dozen games, but you'll never notice.
Maybe. I don't know. It's like, because I mean, I'm thinking like most of January, like, you weren't here and I had to make a bunch of lobbies, and I never had, like, again, I'm not trying, there's no blame, there's no like better than, less than here. It's just I trying to figure out like how it worked. So I think
wasn't
at least
that before the map change?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, whenever I host games, I've never had the issue, is my only point. That's why I didn't understand it, like, when you were describing it.
I only have the actual appearance of Abyssal Reef happen once every 2 or 3 dozen, I think. Because
but the thing is,
happen every couple casts.
Yeah, but you said it would happen last season with Daybreak all the time too, is my point.
Yeah, that is certainly true. But that might have been the awkward time where it stopped doing it, and then the map changeover happened too. Because there's also like a patch, I think, when I was gone. I don't know. But the Daybreak thing was actually proven by a lot of other people. Like, everyone agreed, like, yeah, it occasionally comes up as Daybreak. That was not me being crazy.
Speaking of you being wrong, or not wrong, gone.
Wow,
Sorry, Freudian slip. Speaking of you being gone, we had that question earlier. We missed some sub shoutouts, so let's round this off really quick as we get into the game. Plymouth reset for 25 months. This is, are you up for Nation Wars 5? Hi from Switzerland. And I'm guessing that's for Zombie Grub on account of the fact that I was not there for Nation Wars 4.
It's kind of an odd question because Nation Wars 5 isn't confirmed. If you're asking if I would go back, then yes.
But Reddit said it was confirmed, Zombie Grub.
And it was instantly, like, corrected.
OMG Bad Beats LOL reset for 12 months. Hey, congrats on your 1 year. Make sure to get that part 2. Demi Lovato subbed for 3 months. Says Kappa, let's go BKGG. And then allegedly BaseTradeTV. Wait a minute. I think that's us. Donated $20. Says, we really appreciate what you guys do. Keep it up, Rifkin and Zombie Grub. With a heart.
So we appreciate ourselves?
I guess. Is that... Okay, self-appreciation. Whoop, whoop. Self-esteem. But thank you whoever that actually was, even though I don't know who that was. And of course that $20 will be going to the fundraiser for the Mega Tournament. If someone could type !Mega in chat, you guys can learn more about that over there. We're less than $100 away from a $500 show match, so get on it. But as we get into game number 2, he's down 1 at the moment in the series. We'll see if he can bring it back. It's going to be the light blue BreaKIngGG.
In the bottom left, as the blue Terran, he is Ryung.
Ryung, of course, did some very strange moves in that first game. I really can't describe it better than that. Nobody, even when you're playing mech, nobody really goes 3 starports anymore. I'm trying to think, like, there was a period of time where people were doing like 3-port Banshees, but it was like such a limited, like 1 month stretch at most of Terran just trying to get that air mech going. And it didn't really even work that much to make me think it was worth bringing back, right?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking back to when it was like Laralac Crest. It really seemed to be the thing to do.
God, that map, that's...
I know.
Is it Throwback Thursday already? I thought that was yesterday.
But then there was also, I think, a resurgence in another map that I don't remember right now, so I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I didn't think it was too convincing either. It really was just like once in a while, and it was still only under the likes of Gumiho that was really trying to do it. Live, I think, did it once or twice because it was, I guess everyone should try it. But I don't remember Ryung really doing it. But then again, that might have been a lull in activity for Ryung. I don't remember the time syncing up too well. It might be that Ryung's faced this guy before, and I don't want to be rude or anything, but Ryung might be like, oh, I can do whatever. Like, I've won against this guy so many times.
Well, taking it perhaps one less step than that, because that is kind of, yeah, I understand that point of view for sure. It might also just be that he's noted that BreaKIngGG is a player who does fall prey to just even simple Hellion Banshee pressure. And if you want to dial that up to 10, you build a couple of extra starports.
That is true. If you've killed them, if you've killed 20 drones with Hellion Banshee, I guess the follow-up sometimes doesn't even matter. But he definitely wants to get rid of these Overlords again, just because even if he doesn't go for additional starports, the fear in BreaKIngGG that he could is going to really mess up his macro and make him even, over-defend. And that's good damage to Zerg.
Now, there's a medevac on the way this time, so we might just have some units elevated up to the main. I would not put it past Ryung to actually do that with his Hellion specifically. And it could be why he's actually playing a little further back instead of just diving him in to run past the queens and go for drone kills. Because this early on, there's not that many lings.
For sure, yeah. It does seem to be... The whole idea is that you gotta trick him somehow. There's gotta be more than just the one Hellion build, the one Hellbat all-in. So occasionally that means a 3rd CC, occasionally that means, a Banshee, or... It can also mean just a Hellion drop, which I would say out of the dozen games we've seen Hellion drops against Zerg, Zerg has been there's been 4 or 5 game-ending Hellion drops, so... This
is really bad. He didn't see this coming. I mean, the queen's here, sure, but that's it. There's no lings in position. Drones are just kind of lining up.
And of course, he's not targeting the medevac either. This is free pickup.
Yeah.
Eventually, there you go.
That's a big part of it, though. If you guys have ever played this style, if you tried to Hellion drop, you know that, okay, getting them, one at a time out, as your opponent sees you coming. Like, it's the worst. It never works, but you have to fully unload all 4 of them before going in. So 6 drone kills and cost him nothing is not too bad. He's going back in for round 2, hoping this opponent's a bit distracted. Kind of is.
Yeah, BreaKIngGG is clearly distracted. He's got queens walking way too forward off of creep.
Yeah, they
Come on,
chase
girl.
no, I actually kind of like the drone pull this time around, putting a couple of them in there to draw some of the fire. The lane scores don't clean that up, and okay, good. We're not having that game again just yet.
What?
He left the corner. He didn't stay in the corner to make us guess.
Oh. Okay, gotcha. The Viking went to work on a couple of the overlords. Said like just putting that fear into BreaKIngGG that there could be multiple starports is good, but BreaKIngGG just sent his units across the map. It's kind of a lame way, though. This might still work out, but the fact that you reveal that you were confident enough to send out 5 Ravagers means that the Terran is a little more alerted. So he could potentially try and pull his SCVs in the main base, but he's not doing that. A Banshee pops out, but only one allow Ling splitting because there's no wall.
Ooh, and he does focus fire down the Hellions that were behind that mineral line. He's got one in the medevac, but I mean, one Hellion's not going to save him here.
Safe, yes, he is.
Yeah, he could actually run over the medevac and scoop him up. I think he
Too
realized
late.
this a little bit too late. Unfortunately, they do die. But if he kills the Ravagers, don't be Corsair Biles, and this wall won't break at least. So he should be able to hold on a little bit longer. Oh,
what-
no, he lowered the
what was
vehicle
that?
for a second? That was a death wish is what that was. I don't know what that was.
He tried to spam repair, and I think the lower supply depot was R, right?
Oh, yeah, that
So-
could make sense.
That was awkward.
Like, that feel when pro gamers actually, like, R-click instead of just right-click. But, okay, so this got a little bit messy. BreaKIngGG, though, is pretty dedicated to this. He started drawing a little bit behind it, but Ryung, if he holds on, he's got 3 CZs. That's 3 sets of mules to make up for lost time.
Yeah. With his production being done, it really is just about not losing all your SCVs, and he's still probably going to win.
What is
BreaKIngGG, he did cut drones clearly to do this, and he also does not have tech or upgrades, whereas Ryung eventually will have medevacs with 16 Marines with 1-1 in combat shields.
Sorry, the thing I was looking at is there's like a wriggly tongue coming out of the Queen's corpse or something. I don't know what it is. Really gross to look at. Unfortunately, though, with these lanes continue to be such a pain, he can't actually get any sort of wall up to actually land these orbitals safely and start using them, much less produce from them. I mean, they've each got about 3 mules in them, which is great, but he needs to start building SCVs again. He's been on 22 for way too long.
That's true. He could have at least been producing from the main base. I think he had enough minerals. There we go now. He has enough Marines now.
I like that he didn't use all of his mules here, by the way. It's such a silly thing to note, but it is worth noting because had BreaKIngGG come in at the last second and pick these off, Ryung would be really screwed.
He's got a drop in the main base that BreaKIngGG knew about. He had Ling surround the Marines at one point, but it still was going to lose his spawning pool.
Is that worth it for Ryung, though? I mean...
I think so, because he only lost mineral-based units, and mineral is something he's not going to have trouble with now that he's muling again. It is questionable, though, because there's still an option for roaches. You can still build banelings.
Well,
BreaKIngGG probably still has enough to defend, but it's questionable.
This 1-1 timing is going to be hugely beneficial. Banshee can even help pick up some of the banelings from afar. I mean, there's only going to be a handful available. Was it like just 4 for the time being?
Should definitely do that. Bypasses the queens, entirely goes to the main base. There's a couple of Lings ready, but not enough to stop 3 medevacs from unloading. Bike is gonna land, help out, I guess. Yeah.
Why not? More power on the ground, right? They can also soak some of the banelings, which is exactly what they do. Focus fires the rest. Doesn't see the 2 from behind, though. Oh, no, for Ryung.
Does he know about that third base? I think yeah, okay, he knows about it too. So he could set a drop over there and really pull BreaKIngGG apart, but even though he took that baneling to the face and that could have been avoided, Ryung still has a good army with good upgrades, and he should be able to get 2-2 as well. He's actually banking a lot because he hasn't thrown down an extra 2 barracks.
Guys, it's look at this. It's west, and then that's an upside down W for world. It's all over the place. I can't not see it now. Are they both robots?
What are you even looking at? Like
Oh, the income graph. Sorry.
Oh.
I forgot to mention. Hey, I'm pulling up the income graph here. So I just sound like a crazy person in soft scrum. But another bailing hit comes on in. It hits pretty hard. 2 more, but to finish up. Of course, with speed done, it's a lot easier to get those connections. We got to drop to the north while this goes on. So one of these bases is going to take some damage, and it looks like the main's going to get picked up, and third base ends up taking most of the hits.
Oh, run. Upgrades are finishing up for BreaKIngGG. He's kind of weathered the medevac storm as well as possible as someone who does not have a Spire. But now the problem would be Ryung's main attack, I think, as his production is really starting to kick in.
Yeah,
Units.
there was such a big gap from him having no mining in that natural for so long. In fact, it's to the point where I was almost worried he mine out of his main before he even got to take his natural again. But for Ryung, there's this question he's going to have to ask himself. Like, is his production good enough to keep attacking, or does he maybe need to defend while he takes a third?
His 5 barracks are done now. One's still getting reactor on, I suppose. I think he has enough, especially if you're aggressive to the middle of the map. BreaKIngGG doesn't seem to be thinking clear enough to try and set up a Ling counterattack, as he's running every which way. Now that things have calmed down, he might try, but I think Ryung would have enough. He does fall behind on upgrades, so when he does that main push, it won't be with a significant advantage there, but I think his army would be good enough. We'll see.
Really well-armed drop. He's finally got Widow Mines coming into the fray. Whether these will be good or not really is going to come down to a bit of a luck. I don't think it's super easy to target fire them. We have seen it done before, but for the most part, Micro on these Marines is going to be the utmost importance.
This position can kind of suck for Zerg to deal with. One scan kills both pre-tumors, and suddenly it's just, you know, no knowledge of the drop, pushing, and no real advantage to defending over here. Distracts entirely, so drones get killed.
Very nice. Then he's going to focus fire on the hatchery, which is dangerous because the Banelings are right there.
Yeah. The 9 drones is still worth it. Yeah, I don't think you have to kill the hatchery. You save the units anyway. Ryung, I think he's seen nothing but Lings since the original Roaches have already turned into Ravagers, so he doesn't feel really that much pressure to get tanks. He's also starting to add in a couple Liberators because he is picking off Ravagers, and there's a chance Breaking just forgets or doesn't want to build more Ravagers and don't really have a response to the Liberators.
Well, Ryung's been getting some really good trades out of this. I mean, resources lost really saying that more than anything else. But I kind of feel like that's the lead BreaKIngGG had earlier, it's just simply being evened out. So Ryung's not quite leading this game yet. Both players are going to have 2-2 finished up so closely.
Yeah, sure. Now Ryung is going to be able to take a 4th base with his main soon enough. He doesn't really need the gases, so he doesn't have to wait for those to mine out. And if he breaks down the rocks to the north, that might be perfectly fine to have an orbital as a 4th base. Upgrades are finishing up. He's still going with the drops, which means that Breaking... he could definitely have better creep spread down the middle, and maybe he should. But he still has some creep spread that's not being cleaned up. There's a lot of extra going on. A lot of places.
Just curious, what do you do when you're in the main like this, and there's like barely any minerals left? Do you just start taking the 4th as soon as possible, or do you let it fully mine out before moving? OCD styles.
I let the minerals fully mine out.
Oh, okay. See, I just built 5 extra plantaries. I put what's up? Whoa.
There you go.
Okay, Liberator's going to be kind of an interesting add-on to the way the game's been playing out. These medevacs getting folks down. He's got to start unloading those Marines, though. Oh, good folks fire out of BreaKIngGG initially. Sport probably helps pick up the slack towards the end of this. The army was on the left side. It does clean it up, but Ryung's still got a lot of units here in the natural base. Drones getting picked off every which way, attacking the north side, too. Liberator sets up and just has the drones run away into the clutches of the Marines.
Oh, there's no safe space. Liberator's gonna die to that Spore Crawler, and the Spore Crawlers have been helping, you know, a lot dealing with these medevacs. The drones are almost saved. Almost. Main attack doesn't go so well for Ryung. Everything was... I mean, he had a micro in 4 different places, and that's why he lost medevacs. That's why he awkwardly dropped.
Concern here, though, really is that BreaKIngGG, he might get a really good attack on this base, and hell, he might even pick up some SCVs. There's no wall down. But Ryung's got plenty of income, and BreaKIngGG's down to like 38 workers. Widowmine got a really nice hit on those Lings, completely annihilating them from the battle. And this for Ryung, okay, it's a moment of interruption, but he should be able to just go right back to mining.
Excuse me. Right, yeah, it just wasn't enough of an army for BreaKIngGG to overwhelm and snowball. Maybe that was his chance, you know, where Ryung was losing too much army, but I think that time is gone, and now BreaKIngGG is really just behind. This wasn't the cleanest game by either player, for sure, but Ryung finds himself in a very good lead.
Yeah, I feel like Ryung ended up playing this kind of scrappy, and I don't know if he's just misjudging his opponent. You know, we brought up the fact that maybe they play a bunch, and that's why he played game 1 like that, or maybe they never play at all, and he was testing him, right? Thinking like, oh, this guy died so easily in game 1. What a joke. I'll just go easy peasy and slack in game 2. Not saying that's what's happened here, but Ryung has certainly cleaned it up. 74 army supply, 2-2 with 3-3 finishing up shortly, and his Bioforce looks fantastic.
Oh, that would have mine.
Oh,
How did
is
it
that
not
splitting?
get-
Oh, there we go. Last second splits are good, and that's going to be enough to push back the Ravagers. New Banelings morphing in. The front lines are also not that plentiful, so even if they do finish up, these are Banelings off of creep. Pretty easy for Ryung to deal with.
Right, really easy. And those upgrades are going to be... If he didn't have a severe army supply advantage, then those upgrades would have done it too. Still not really cleaned up the middle creep, but now getting around to it. Oh, this scans.
Just changes are
better.
annoying. He's trying to figure out which is which.
Yeah,
He doesn't know.
it's still a secret.
He's like picking up on the medevacs to try and figure out. There you go.
Ah!
Last one goes down.
Infestation Pit. Not a bad idea to bring back a game. Not... I think he already took too much damage to really hope that brings him back. He gets Burrow and gets like the best fungal Baneling combinations. All right, yeah, that's always it's the biggest potential he has, and he does have a bit of gas. Surprisingly, after being on 30-something drones for so long. There's Ryung taking his 4th base. Just break down those rocks, and his army should always be able to stop counterattacks. He's even still dropping.
BreaKIngGG responding best he can. Ryung's army supply just keeps going out of control. I know if you guys are watching the overall supply, it doesn't look super crazy, but when you compare Terran player on 112 to 60 for the Zerg, even if each of those Banelings got an absolutely perfect hit, I still don't know that would be enough damage to actually take Ryung's army on.
50 supply is pretty... It would have to be the best hits ever. Like, Marauders are in the back line and get overrun by the Lings after all the Marines die type.
The Marines move
scenario.
command on top of the Baneling too, just to help set up the shot even better.
Yeah, exactly. It would have to be that type of scenario, which is technically
Oh, this is in the center tower. Okay. Be very upset if Ryung didn't see that.
So I'm talking about though, like, technically Newkirk can be kind of an easy 4th base. If you if you big on those rocks and just have the army kind of around that position. But it's not always the case. Medevac tried to be accompanied by Liberator, doesn't really work out. Burrow is almost done, but the Infestors still have to get energy as they do not have Catherine glands. BreaKIngGG is starting to miss macro as well, banking a lot of minerals.
Well, that's actually not necessarily entirely his fault. Part of this is, like, right now he's got a decent larva count, but Ryung has been rather consistent with using Liberators, chasing off mineral lines, but also killing a lot of larvae. That's why he's been going so deep with it, right? So right now, like, yeah, okay, he's floating money, but I can't say that this has always been the case where he had the larva to spend on said money.
It's true. You can only blame him so much, but you look around and you do see that these queens are out of position. They're starting to get their energy. Yeah, he definitely got flustered trying to deal with all the drops and Liberators.
There's no injects really going on. She's like the only one right now.
Mm-hmm. I don't even think he queued those two, which just means that he's missing out on potential comeback solutions.
It's not dark.
Exactly. Oh, throwback. 5th base, surprisingly on the way, but I guess that's a better use of his minerals than absolutely doing nothing with them. Hive's even on the way as he realizes, like, oh, hey, this game's going on for a little while longer. I certainly didn't expect this game to go on to 19 minutes.
No, and not in this way either, because this has been a pretty scrappy game, just all in all, from both sides of this. My concern with BreaKIngGG, though, is, like, what does he do with that Hive tech? Because right now, honestly, the only cost-effective option seems like it's going to be go for adrenal glands. Like, he can't really afford more than one Ultra. His income keeps getting disrupted by things like this.
True. There is Ryung's final push, I do believe. There's so many Widow Mines. Marauders are kind of on the front lines, too, so I don't think there's that absolutely fantastic scenario we were talking about. He pre-splits as well. He's like, I'm not going to lose this game.
Yeah, Fungals do catch him from behind, and it's a little bit scary, but there's so much more where that came from. Oh, my God. Ryung's like, yeah, you can have the front army. I got like 7 more behind this.
Infested Terrans have been more worth to pop up all these Widow Mines. There's still so many in the back line. Marauders took up a lot here, and yeah, it's still being denied. GG. Finally called. Ryung takes it 2-0.
Oh, wow. And apparently Hero beat Sue, by the way, according to the brackets. That's actually kind of... So I want to point out, by the way, we did end up getting Silky versus Nice instead of Yen versus Cest. we're in opposite world at the top half of the bracket, but Hero, not Liquid, excuse me, XCJ Antis now on Root Gaming. That hero has been playing really well lately. But I put the request in to hopefully catch what was going to be the winner of Gumihone Alive versus Impact for the round of 8. Alternatively, Lenok versus Kelazur Keen could also be quite good. I do love that actually if you look at the brackets right now, the top side is all Protoss, bottom side is all Terran when it comes to that round of 8. Oh no, it's Impact, never mind. Or Zerg. I meant to say Zerg, not Terran. But it's funny because in Korea it is usually all Terran. That's why I got mixed up. I got a little ahead of myself. But
I get it.
we're not having we will not have a TvT fest in the round of 8, which is just
Amazing.
Oh, I forgot to go to the out of game screen. So you guys missed all my great facial animations. I totally messed all that up. But anyways, we're going to go to a commercial break. When we return, hopefully we'll have a match ready to go. But in the round of 8 currently, Hero waits for an opponent, Patience waits for an opponent, Impact and Lenok are both waiting for opponents. So see you guys soon.